Hello, my darling viewers. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Miranda and I am the Enchantress of Avalon. So, as I'm sure the thumbnail suggests and the title of this video suggests, I am doing a book recommendation video today, going along with a lot of my recent content, especially talking about the earth element and green magic and everything. I decided to share with you 7 of my favorite Green Magic books. They range from more encyclopedias and textbook type of material to just kind of fun herbal books. So I don't have them in any particular order. I just have a pile that is the most stable way to configure the books, and I'm going to talk about each of the 7 books individually. And yeah, let's start. So, the first book is The Green Witch by Erin Murphy Hissack. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. And it is kind of a seminal little book. I have a hardcover copy, which I love because hardcover books, when it comes to magic books, tend to be a little bit hard to find. And it is a adorable little companion to beginning a green magic journey. It is just very, very simple. It has, let's see, I believe she has a good little bibliography in the back, which gives you further books to look deeper into the subject, and including some of the ones that I will talk about today. I'm sure she has, I can see at least one of those books in here. It's a great beginning book. It's small, not very long, and has a lot of great basic knowledge. It's the first Green Magic book I ever read, and I really like it. At least the first one I read, like, cover to cover. So yeah, it's a very fun one. Good for beginners. The next one I'm going to talk about is actually a recent purchase. My husband gave this to me as one of my anniversary presents for our anniversary in May, and it is Herbal Tea Magic for the Modern Witch by Elsie Wilde. This is absolutely an adorable book. He managed to find it in hardcover, which is, again, something I love. And there's gorgeous little teacup illustrations throughout the book, and these amazing little recipes for different types of teas and doing rituals. She goes in depth into tea leaf reading in it. It's great. It's adorable, and it's an adorable, cute little green book. I really like it, and I'm excited to try out some of the blends she recommends in here. The next book is one that I'd had on my wish list for a while that I wanted to read. So I found this actually at a local shop a few weeks ago. So I read it and really adored the content. It is The Herbal Alchemist's Handbook, a complete guide to magical herbs and how to use them by Karen Harrison. She is a certified herbalist. She has a master's in herbology from Emerson College of Herbology in Montreal. Unfortunately, that college no longer exists, or I would totally want to take some online courses from them and get certified through them, because that's really cool. She is using a lot of, obviously, alchemy, but also getting deep into astrology. There are chapters on each planet's herbs. Like, this is the Herbs of Venus chapter, and she just has this great in-depth knowledge. There's some great recipes in here, and it's really great for deepening that connection between herbalism and alchemy and herbalism and astrology. So this is a really good one. The next book is probably the most famous one out of all the books on this list. I would say it has to be. And that is Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs by Scott Cunningham. This is, if you're going to have one herbalism book or one green magic book, this is probably the one to have. It is a full-on encyclopedia with illustrations. As you can see, I have bookmarks all through it of different herbs I was looking into in different days. And it gives you the herb, the different names of the herb, the magical associations, the medicinal properties, and also the genders, the associated elements, and I believe, yeah, and planet if applicable. So everything is in here, and it's a great breakdown. If you just want something that is a good encyclopedia of, hey, this is happening, I want to see what would be a good herbal blend for this issue I'm having, this is the one to get. And I think every Green Magic person should probably have a copy of this somewhere in their arsenal. It's an important book. Okay. The next one is so close to my heart. It is the second of 3 books that Jenna Tellandrew has written about her Sisterhood of Avalon tradition, like deep dive, thick books. She also has written some thinner, like pagan portals books on specific goddesses. And I read everything by Jenna Tellandrew. She's an incredible writer, and her Sister of Avalon tradition is amazing. As we know, I love all things Avalon, which is why I go by the moniker of the Enchantress of Avalon. That is my title that I go by here on the internet. So the Mythic Moons of Avalon is the lunar and herbal wisdom from the Isle of Healing. So this is a deep dive into how to use the lunar cycle as well as how to use herbs. Each of the different moons, which are a total of 14 in number, because there are some moons that only happen on certain years, each have an herb associated with them. So you get a deep dive into 14 different herbs throughout the book, and it is really incredible. And I would recommend, if you're reading this one, to just read Avalon Within, which is the first book, before reading this one, because it ties in well and it's really building upon Avalon Within. And each of these books just keeps getting thicker. Like the newest one that technically isn't released yet, but I pre-ordered it, so I got my copy early and I'm currently reading it. The Ninefold Way of Avalon is over 500 pages. So they just keep getting longer and more in depth. It's absolutely incredible. Highly, highly recommend this one. Especially if you're into specifically Avalon-based magic and Avalon-based spirituality. Because that's what these really are. They're spiritual books. And herbalism books. The next one is Magical Fairy Plants by Sandra Kynes. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I'm not positive that I am. And it is a guide for working with fairies and nature spirits, but it's also an herbalism guide because we do have the breakdown of all of the plants. But what's really cool about this is it also has fairy folklore in each of the sections of each plant. Has the fairy folklore associated with the plant. So I really love this one for its very fairy-centric focus. Essentially the first half of the book, or almost. It is up to, okay, this first part of the book, which is about a third of the book, is just fairy lore and fairy magic and such. The rest is the plants. So it works similarly to Cunningham's encyclopedia, but this one has a specifically very fairy-oriented twist, and I absolutely adore it for that reason, right? And this is going to be a bit of a shorter video because I just realized I've come to my last book. So my 7th and final book that I'm recommending in this video for those wanting some green magic or herbalism books is Witchcraft Medicine, Healing Arts, Shamanic Practices, and Forbidden Plants by Claudia Mueller-Ebeling, Christian Racht, and Wolf Dieter Storl. I have no idea if I pronounced those names right. I apologize if I didn't. And this one is the one that is very much kind of like a textbook. It feels like reading an herbalism textbook, and I love it for that reason. Because it was something that was recommended by my amazing herbalism teacher, Suzanne O'Gara, for additional reading in our herbalism course, which I'm 3 months into a 9-month training there. And I'm so glad that this was the first one of her recommended books that I picked up because it's just a really great read. There's so many interesting tidbits. It has these deep dives into plants. It has little asides written on the sides of certain pages, giving you additional information. It has illustrations. It's a really, really interesting and interestingly formatted book. And like many textbooks, it's written by several authors. I like this book a lot. I'm very, very pleased that it is part of my herbalism library. So that brings us to the end of the video. I do want to note that I did decide to just go with natural lighting today because it was so bright and sunny out. I just opened the curtains. So I do apologize if it's a little dark in the video, but I couldn't resist the natural light because I think it's very, very flattering, and it is good for us to have some natural light, vitamin D and all, from the sun. And I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that some of my recommendations are things that you're interested in reading. And let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books before, or what ones you are interested in reading, right? I will, as always, link in the description box below some of my blog posts that relate to this subject. And also I will go ahead and link my Discord server if you would like to join my Discord and get to be involved in the discussion. We talk about so many different things over there related to fairy lore, folklore, mythology, goddesses, and different types of magic. So please join. I hope you have a very wonderful week, everyone. Bye now.